Hi guys, Virginia here and I'm back with my last design team project using the August Kitaholic Kits, and this thing is filled with crack paper wild heart, and there's some Heidi Swap pineapple crush and yeah, a bunch of other awesome things in the kit. So I went through the 12 by 12 papers looking for a background, and I went straight for the wood grain. I love wood grain paper, and this one is no different. So instead of having it on a horizontal, I decided to go vertical this time, and that's going to be the base for my layout. So I've got two photos. One is of Edison and feeding a goat, and the other one is of my niece Eva feeding a goat. We went to a little petting zoo on a trip to Napier, and they had a bunch of farm animals there, so we took the kids, and yeah, a lot of animals to feed, so I've got a lot of photos. So yeah, I've trimmed them out. They've got a nice little white border. I printed them on my Canon Selfie. And I decided to go for a bit of a grid style layout. So I roughly measured the photos and came up with, well, I decided that each of the grid sections was going to start, well, I was going to cut pen and paper from, what size did I do? 2 1/4 by 3.5. Each of these pattern papers are being cut to. So I'm just going through offcuts and bits and pieces that are left in the kit, and cutting those squares or rectangles down to 2 1/4 by 3.5. And I'm trying to get a bunch of different patterns and colour to get a bit of versatility in my layers. So I'm just trimming this down, and we'll skip through to where I've done a whole bunch more. So I've cut a few, and I'm going to go for 6 sections, and I'm just going to layer these pattern papers on top of each other. I do end up cutting some more because I find that I don't have enough. So I'm just going to cut this green and white diagonal stripe one, and I decided to pop that behind there, and I cut another 2 from this pattern paper. Decided yellow would look better behind that, and we'll put a pop of black and floral behind there, and then this white stripe one. And I'm just cutting off some little smaller pieces to kind of tuck in a few of those layers to bring a bit more colour into each of those sections. So just cutting off offcuts, not being pedantic about size, just to bring a bit more colour into those layers, and a pop of yellow over there. Okay, now I wanted to bring a bit of texture in, so I'm going to cut off some of this gorgeous gold glittery teal tulle and I'm going to tuck that in my layers as well, and that's going to bring a bit of texture into them and a bit of colour. So I'm going to do 3, so I've got 3 points of interest, 3 of the same thing on the page. Tuck that behind those paper layers. And I'm not sure what I'm looking for now. Die cuts ephemera. So this is the crepe paper wild heart ephemera pack, what I've got left of it, and I'm going to make use of this. I'm going to tuck pieces in those layers again, bringing some colour into the page. I've got a tag behind that photo of Edison. I pulled out this word fun, and I wasn't sure whether I was going to use it, but I do end up using it as a title. I've got this large leaf die cut, so I'm going to tuck that behind there. I thought about this one, but it was a bit too black. We've got a leaf, another tag, a leaf tag, so it was a bit too big, so I'm going to trim it down a little on 3 of the sides, and I'm going to layer that in the bottom left section, pop that on top. Current mood die cut piece, I'm going to stick that there, and I liked this piece that said hello, but I do put it on. I end up taking it off because I feel like it's a bit big on the page, but I do cut the little pink banner off, and I tuck that into the photo down there. A little offcut from another die cut, it gets tucked in those layers. It's a great way to use up some of those little scrap pieces and stuff that you've got. So now I'm going to go through the Kitaholic Kits exclusive die cut pack, and there's always a ton of these labels and stuff in the kit, so I'm going to pull out some of them and tuck them in amongst those clusters as well, just to bring some more colour. some more interest. And now I'm going to go through the 12 by 12 chipboard, and I'm going to make great use of this. We've got a frame. I'm going to tuck under that bottom left cluster. I'm just going to call all of these clusters. So we've got 6 clusters going on the page. Okay, a little round circular piece that says you're one of a kind. A camera, I just pop up there just to bring a bit more interest to that section. And I'm peeling off the sticky backing. I've got a cheetah here, and I wasn't too sure how to get that on the page, so I tuck it behind just for a pop of colour, and it's going to lift that cluster up as well. We've got real life. I pop it down there, but I do end up pulling it up because it just wasn't quite working for me. Another chipboard piece in that centre one at the top. Make today magical, a heart. And I'm going to move that circular piece up a bit, just to try to get a bit of balance. Heck yes, that's going to get moved up the top there. And I felt like that's a bit better, a bit more balanced. I didn't want to take away too much from the photo. Okay, another little heart, just to repeat that image. I'm going to tuck that on top of my photo. Rightio. I like how things are looking, so I'm going to glue all of these layers together. This was a really quick layout. It doesn't take a lot of thought. A grid layout, it's just kind of stacking things in a grid style fashion. So really simple. I'm going to prop this little first cluster, photo cluster, up on foam and glue that down. Glue my little chipboard heart, and that's the first one done. So I'm going to repeat the process, just working from my top all the way down to that bottom layer, just stacking them all together. Really simple process. Just layering that, and I'm going to glue that one down flat. I'm not going to put any foam behind that because it's got a chipboard piece on top. Okay, again layering, just stacking things on a bit of an angle so you can see pops of colour out the side. Really fun to do. And the chipboard, I couldn't quite peel up, but I thought if I could peel up a little bit of a corner, I'd popped a little bit of glue under it just to make sure. I'm going to put a little bit of foam in the centre of there just to make sure nothing bows in that little empty spot. And then I'm just going to start on this top cluster. The tool is super easy, just put a bit of glue or tape and it'll stick down just fine. Put some foam behind that photo cluster at the top. My ATG was playing up a little. And just finishing that off. Sorry, Eddie's asking for an apple. And just adhering that down. Really simple process. Okay, last little bit, I'm going to put a bit of foam underneath there because that piece is chipboard. Glue that chipboard down and then stack the entire cluster on top. And my chipboard piece and my camera, I'm going to peel all the adhesive backing off because it tends to want to come off anyway. So again, just layering with the ATG. I probably could have skipped through this, but I know some people like to see the entire process, and my process would have been quite short if I had to have taken it out. So this one's going to be flat because again there's chipboard on top. I don't want everything the same height, but a bit of dimension in each of them is fine. I did contemplate putting some of the leaves in, but then decided no, that there was enough going on the page already. Now there is gold in two sections. There is pointed to it. There's gold on the leafy heart that's on the photo of Edison, and then there's gold on the tag, the bottom left, that has all the heart eyes. So I wanted to balance that out with a third piece of gold. So I've taken one of those My Mind's Eye acrylic words. Well, it's not a word, it's a bow, but just stuck it on top of that chipboard piece, and then we've got 3 sections of that, so that's not so unbalanced. I'm going to fill the 2 tags on the page with some gold twine and just loop it around and tuck it back under the tag and stick it down with a bit of glue just to hold it in place. So just finishing the second one off, just looping it and popping a bit of glue. Excuse my big head. And I'm going to go through these puffy words, and there's some stars on there, so I thought I might bring some pops of black and white and a little bit of interest, just some little things. So I'm going to do 3 pops of them around the page and put a little bit of glue behind them just to make sure they stay stuck. And my title, I wasn't sure what my title was going to be, so I gave a quick look through the words and I decided I would use this die cut word fun and have the other word oh so fun. I'm going to pop that up there, so that's going to be my title, oh so fun. So I'll pop glue behind that oh and so and just stick that up there. And then for the word fun, I'm going to cut a bunch of adhesive foam and just prop it up off the page just to help it stand out. So I'm just cutting some strips to put behind it. Okay, we skip through. It's all got foam behind it, and I'm just going to glue them down, just in that little section down there. And then lastly, there will be, I'm going to do a few sprinkles of some gold Liquitex acrylic ink around the page, just to bring a bit more gold on the page. If you know me by now, you know that I can't help myself. So I'm just using a paintbrush, a thin paintbrush, to do a few splatters of that. But after that, that's the end of my process. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.